Robin Best in the Ford Thunderbird, 27.73 Walter Giles and the DuPont. Machine 91 starts out of 4, and Barry Graham, good to see him back in action in the Valvoline Pontiac from position number 7. Denzel Mead from Tasmania, car number 85 is at the ready, and it is George Elliott and Terry Byers bring them in for the start. And just for his trouble in 55, George Elliott got a tap in the tail from Robin Best as they head down into the first turn. George Elliott is a very, very good sprinter, but he has some problems trying to hold the car to the low side as they head along the back straight. And Terry Byers, in fact, goes through to take over the lead. Walter Giles making a good run through the pack as well. They sweep around the top corner, coming in for the completion of first, 59 before the compulsory pit stop, and the order is Byers, George Elliott, Walter Giles. Car number 5 then making a good run up on the inside as they make their way down to the bottom corner, and that is Ronnie Goodman.
It's a fabulous sound as these Oz cars, or NASCARs I should say, sweep onto the tri-over. Thundering things, 358 cubic inch V8, 650 horsepower. They really do shake the ground as they come past the spectator area. And Terry Byers showing a clean pair of heels in these opening laps. He really wants to get on with this.
2 laps down, Elliott now gets into the draft of Byers. Giles still back in third. Robin Best is fourth.
They've got trouble here already, 00.
And 2 of them out of shape. One goes via the infield. One is going down pit lane, the number 9 car. That's Tony Howlett. And the 00 car also in strife, and he goes to the pit area. That's what happened. The one breaking away, I think, was the 00. Bang, straight through the side. Tony Howlett caught him.
That's young
Not too far for him to go.
Young Brian Saylor in the 00 machine.
Flagman now signals to the drivers. The great Terry Byers in the Bob Jane T-Mart's car, leading the NASCAR final today, the Drink Drive Classic, from George Elliott, the pole sitter. Walter Giles up to third in the DuPont Centauri Paints car, and right behind him, as we take Terry Byers with our race cam. Behind him, of course, is Robin Best from Tasmania. Then Max back to racing, and Byers tries to stretch it. Giles moves up smartly now into the tail of George Elliott, and Elliott is a very strong sprinter around Calder Park Thunderdome. Strong looking field here today as they exit turn number 2 and make their way onto the back straight, and I tell you what, they've got the throttles all the way to the floor as they scoot along here. Giles up in company now with George Elliott in the 55 car, the Promar entry, as they come off turn number 4. And Byers doing a fabulous job. The boy from Wollongong, car number 26, very tight at the front of the field, and Robin Best runs in 4th. Giles goes a little wider, trying to make a big run around the group here, but has to tuck it in now. He's all over George Elliott. Plenty of speed coming today from Walter Giles, who probably gets the unlucky tag of all the drivers.
He sure is. No shortage of speed from Walter over the years, but incredibly unlucky in race situations. He always seems to join someone else's accident, or something happens in front of him. Let's hope his luck changes in the finals today.
He has a problem. He's trying to get down the inside. 14.
Neville Lance.
Well, he's able to miss contact there with the concrete wall. We'll see whether he can pick it up and rejoin. Yes, he can. That will save a yellow flag. That was on the approach to the pit lane, so he'll get going again.
Look at the bonnet on the Chevy Lumina of Walter Giles. You can see it flapping around in the wind. Very lightweight bodywork. All it does is form an aerodynamic skin over the base frame.
And it's Alan Grice as well that's making the big move down the outside of Dumsney. So it's very, very tight at the front of the field.
Oh, Neville Lance down on the inside line. George Elliott picks his way through. Alan Grice, the big mover. 09.
Coming up on Best, there's nothing over. The first 4 or 5, anybody's race still. Giles.
Walter Giles and George Elliott very evenly matched with race pace at this early laps of the race.
They're certainly twisting those engines tight, Alan.
Yeah, motor screaming, Mike, but good reliability. We don't see many engine failures here.
Look at this. Walter quicker off turn 2. Same carbon copy of what we saw just a moment ago. George Elliott obviously a little bit braver under brakes as Walter gets a better run coming out of the turns.
Well, he does, but he's got Robin Best on the outside of him. And there is Best coming down now, trying to take one away, which he does. And Alan Grice is the next one behind him in the Akubra entry, number 09.
Now, I used to know what's happening with Alan Grice, the 09 Pontiac. Every time it puffs a big billow of smoke as he turns into turn 1 when the car's loaded up on its suspension. Not absolutely sure what's going on there. We'll keep an eye on it. Meanwhile, Robin Best has taken away that much sort of position from Walter Giles.
Well, it'll be more than Mayday here if these two get tangled up.
Yes, they're a week early.
Alan was referring before how much faster the cars are going. A good indication of that. Robin Best was once the reigning NASCAR champion, and he really has been pushed down the order a bit over the last couple of seasons by just dint of the extra speed his competitors are getting out of their cars. It is becoming quite competitive at the sharp end of the NASCAR field.
And these where you're going to wind up. Here comes
Robin.
Best up on the inside of Elliott. Well, he has done what Giles tried for 6 laps to do. So Robin Best, the Tasmanian with the Talladega accent, moves up now to put pressure on Terry Byers, who leads the race. Elliott is 3rd. Grice is 4th.
And 22, Barry Graham, 3rd of the Valvoline cars. He's in trouble early.
John Sidney there. So the engine hood goes up. They have an internal problem there as
Here comes Grice down the inside, looking very strong on George Elliott as they swing into turn 3. Oh,
very close.
Put a cigarette paper down there, and Grice won't be afraid to keep the hammer down.
The cars are close. The top 6 or 7, nothing between them down the front straight as they head into turn number 1 again. Let's check them out for you. Byers leading this one just from Robin Best. George Elliott is 3rd. Grice is 4th. Max Dumsney is 5th. From Robin Best down the front straight. Grice is now up to 3rd. Elliott back to 4th. Dumsney is 5th. There's the lead being disputed down in the first turn. Second group here. Giles in the pits. Problems for Walter Giles with the DuPont Centauri car. They're under the car there. Major disaster for Walter on grand final day, and the race continues down the front straight again. Terry Byers in car number 26 actually has opened up a bit of a gap, and Robin Best is falling back into the hands of Alan Grice.
As Mike alluded to earlier, George Elliott, a very fast sprinter around Thunderdome, but in race trim he's struggling a bit here. Fastest man in qualifying, and he's slipping further and further down the grid, and that was quite a substantial overtaking move by Max. George is in trouble.
Yeah, each lap he's gone down 1 mark. He's not looking healthy at the moment.
So Terry Byers hanging on to first position. Robin Best in the Ford T-Bird in second, and Alan Grice. Don't forget, Grice, he won the opening round of the Summer Series this year. Since then he's had all sorts of problems, fighting his way back through the grid in a very competitive 3rd place, and Grice among anyone else would want to take this final out.
Oh, he will. He's keen. They come along the back straight. Byers trying to set the pace just to stay there to the 60 lap mark, pit, and then run for broke in the final 20.
Making use of the maximum real estate. A lot of the other fellows choosing to stay in the middle to the high side, and Grice taking that low line with great effect there.
That's moved him to 2nd. That puts Best back to 3rd as they come along the back straight, and Grice, the business end of the afternoon.
Boy, is he on a charge.
Well, he could probably sniff the guy counting the prize money at the moment as he works to the high side here. Car hasn't been handling all that well on the high side, but it comes out of there running like a rocket. He's about a car length off Terry Byers using the outside line as they come down to the first turn. Byers gets in there comfortably. See if Grice can go straight by him on the outside. That's a tall order, and you need plenty of horsepower to do it. He's trying to do it, though. So Wollongong's Terry Byers having a good race day here today. Great to see the guy go straight around the outside. When it comes to pretty hard racing for some good cash, they don't come in anymore. They don't get much breathing space, do they? The motors, it's basically set the thing on cruise control, and providing the thing can pump up at around about 8,000 or 8,500. Twist them as tight as you can, hold the tyres on the racetrack, and hang on for the ride.
As long as it can crank up about 650 horsepower.
Yeah. Well, it's got a lot of weight to pull. These cars weigh 3,600 pounds. They are extremely heavy. But part of that is their inbuilt safety, Alan.
Yes, the roll cage inside is absolutely superb, much stronger than typically employed in a standard Group A car. The roll bars around the driver are I was going to say international standard.
Pressure on Robin Best for the last 3 or 4 laps, and keep in mind the finishing order from this first 60 lapper marks their starting position for the 20-lap final. Oh, but Robin Best,
he's got some more horsepower,
and there's someone coming through there with him.
Yeah, that someone is Mr. Dumsey.
So Max comes up for a bit of a play as well.
Max's strategy here is to run with them, make sure he's well positioned for a second row start in the 20-lap sprint to the flag, and at all costs stay out of trouble. And he's in a bit of a bind here where they're trying to lap cars, and at the same time Alan Grice is just clear of this mob. Grice has not gotten away to a big lead. Let me tell you, there are 2 laps remaining according to Nigel Greenway from Ford Motorsport.
Flag, and the fellows that have got that engine reliability are dialed in extremely well.
There goes Max through on Robin Best.
Yes,
Robin gets pushed back another position. So Max, all of a sudden, a conservative run,
and he's
climbing
doing
up
it
behind Gricey.
He's doing it all at the right time.
He's aware of the
white flag
starting position. Max is a racer. That's Grice. See, unusual thing there, Alan. The car just pitched in a straight line.
Well, he could have just picked up a bit of that sand and gravel. He has been being very cheeky on the low line, and you know there was sand put down on the track, which we haven't seen happen very often. He might have just got a little bit of that. He recovered quickly, but I can be sure that his heart was in his mouth for a second there.
They're coming in to finish off the first 60 leg segment. As they come off turn number 4, it is tight. Nothing between the top 4, and as they take the checkered flag, it is Max Dumsney over Alan Grice, Robin Best, and 26 Terry Byers. What a finish. Car number 5, Max Dumsney. What a winner of the first leg. Second spot going to Alan Grice in the Akubra Valvoline Pontiac. Third, Robin Best of Tasmania. Fourth was Terry Byers, and fifth, Denzel Car. Robin Best was through the turn very smartly indeed. He'll move up to third, and Terry Byers under a lot of pressure from some other drivers still running in fourth. Now Dumsney may well have the sprint capability here as he comes off the fourth turn, reels off the first, 19 laps to go. And Dumsney looks like taking this one down to the wire. Grice in second, and car number 11, Robin Best, runs a very close third.
Well, this will be all over in less than 9 minutes, Mike, if we see a clear run with no yellow flag. So these fellows have got a lot of pressure on them, and Max out in front with a championship at stake. He'll be feeling the weight of this field coming down on him. But obviously he's elected to make this run, and he's doing it in fine style.
Well, as Max said in that mid-race interview, he's feeling very comfortable with the setup of the car. These NASCARs have an intricate number of...
He tries to duck down the inside of him, but had to ease out as George Elliott eased up in front of him. There's Elliott slowing. Giles got caught making a run and then had to slam on the brakes to miss contact with the back of his car.
Poor old George has had problems.
Not his day.
All day.
Dumsney coming up on a group of cars. There's Terry Byers as we take the 7 Sport wheel cam. The 00 car off to the left.
This gives you just an idea of the dynamics of a NASCAR. Look at the deflection on that tyre. Kick back through the steering, just how hard they're working at this sort of speed. The suspension up and down, all the camber change, putting plenty of heat into the tyres. Switches down the low line to turn 3. Just see the tyre, the angle on it as the car's drifting. Correction, opposite lock, understeer, oversteer. Straightens it up back onto the tri-oval again. These things are working very, very hard, Alan.
Yeah, they sure are, and you can see him using every bit of the track down onto the yellow line.
Sydney team entry. Scoots around the outside. Hasn't put a foot wrong here today at Calder Thunderdome. Settled down to this type of racing. He's taken to it like a duck to water. And again, he's been a past master of driving in circles for probably 15 years of his career in sprinters. Last corner comes up, and the former Australian sprint car champion is now the NASCAR stock car champion of Australia. That's Max Dumsney across the line to beat Robin Best home place. Well done, Max Dumsney. Splendid drive here at Calder this afternoon. Let's check them out for you on our race score. Max Dumsney in the Valvoline Oldsmobile Cutlass wins the race and the championship. Robin Best from Tasmania places in second. Third was Terry Byers. Fourth, Alan Grice.